Hello everybody, my name is David. Thank you for joining me. This is my question and answer video that I do every single Monday, part 2. If you missed part 1, please go back and watch it. Something I do every week in part 1 is I make a recommendation, a suggestion for healing from traumatic, painful, abusive, narcissistic relationships. And this week, I recommend a book by Sarah Zilkowski. I know it's backwards, I'm sorry, but it says Narcotic Love, In and Out of the Coma of Narcissistic Abuse. Awesome title. This is a book written by a survivor for survivors. It's an awesome book. I read it and I really enjoyed it. It's a perfect guide to navigate through narcissistic abuse and know what happened to you. This is a perfect guide to give to somebody else to help them understand what happened to you. Okay, I'll put the link down below to Amazon to purchase a copy if you're interested, and thank you very much. Sarah thanks you very much too. So let's get started with the questions. First one is from Steve in Melbourne, Australia. Hello, Steve. How you going? Thank you. You say there's no such thing as a stupid question. No, there is not. Only stupid answers. So I have another one. Great. You mentioned that the relationship is over once there is abuse. For us that don't know or are too naive, can you give examples of abuse from borderlines? There may be small things that borderlines do we may overlook. Thank you. Yeah, Steve, I'm sure I'll try and give some. Because I know borderlines pretty well. I've had a lot of experience with them. I've tried to help them, stuff like this. And so I have some experience and I'll come up with some things. But first, I want you to know, and I want everybody to know, that, Steve, you're right. You said, for us that don't know or are too naive. And what that means is parents that didn't teach us to be emotionally responsive and responsible, to listen to our body, know what it's doing, and then do something about it to fix it or help it and stuff like this. So all of this is about how you feel, right? And so when someone makes you feel bad, we stop it. Whatever we got to do, we got to stop it, okay? And we don't excuse it, and we don't accept it, and we don't let it continue. That's very, very important. So that kind of, when you said naive or don't know, that's you being used to ignoring how you feel, your emotions. And if we ignore our emotions, you can never meet your emotional needs. If you ignore your emotions, you are trying to ignore the bad ones, and it all comes together in one package. You ignore bad, then you ignore good. If you don't want to feel depression and you numb it and suppress it, or anxiety, fears, if you numb it and suppress it and ignore it, then you can't feel happiness and joy either, okay? And that's why we start getting more and more depressed. We have to have a counter, a contrast. We got to have good moments and times in our life, okay? That being said, specifically, borderlines, what are some things to watch out for? And I wanted people to know that abuse is simply intentionally hurting someone. We hurt people, all of us hurt people all the time in our life. And we're not aware of it, we didn't mean to, we feel bad about it, stuff like this. This is intentionally hurting someone, abuse, okay? So something I've noticed very much is with borderlines and narcissists and stuff, right? They hurt and it's intentional, and so they aren't apologetic. They don't feel bad, right? It's the not make you feel better and do it again. I mean, this is all abuse. What borderlines do the most is be unaccountable. Throw that victim card and poor me, right? So I think the two biggest things that I've noticed borderlines do is throw guilt trips, and then they talk about your relationship with others. And that's just so wrong. That violates so many different emotional needs. That is intentionally trying to hurt you when they're trying to convince other people you're a bad person, that you hurt them, that you cheat on them, you hit them, and you lie to them, and all these things that aren't true. They're trying to intentionally hurt you. They're trying to get people to think you're a bad person. They may even be trying to get other people to hurt you, right? Full of excuses. I was drunk, this and that. Just this real unaccountability. So not only do they hurt you, and they may not be aware. It may not be intentionally that they hurt you. I hope I'm making sense. We hurt people throughout our life, and we try not to, right? And the more aware that we become, the less we hurt others. Because when we hurt people, we weren't aware of it. I didn't know I was hurting you. I'm sorry. I get it now. I won't do that again, right? But the problem with borderline is they might hurt you on accident, not mean to, but then they may not be sorry. Or they'll keep doing it. It's like, come on, you're hurting me. I told you. This is the 5th time now. I told you you're hurting me. And they're like, oh, I'm not aware of it. It's like, well, start being aware of it. Something I notice big time with borderlines is triangulation. They love to triangulate. You give me attention, I get it over here. I'm going to show you this person's giving me attention so that you give me what I want from you, so that you compete and you give me more attention and you try to, steal me away from this person now. I'm starting to like this person. Ha ha. Oh, you give me more what I want. Things like this. But it's all about how it makes you feel, okay? All of it. Either it's intentional or not. Either someone is abusing you or they're not aware they're hurting you. Okay? Definition or not. What matters is how you feel, and you must stop it. So what you can do, Steve, is start learning to be more in touch and more aware with your body and what it's doing. And that is what feelings are. Okay? Feelings aren't our body doing things, stuff like this. Feelings aren't perspiration on our upper lip and sweaty palms. Those are emotions. Emotions are your body doing things in motion, energy in motion, emotion, right? And feelings is, what is that? What does a ball in my throat, perspired on my lip, and sweaty palms, what is that? I'm nervous about something. There's the feeling is nervous. So it's a real disconnect that we've had. Because things have hurt and we didn't know how to make it better. So we ignore it. Okay, so it's really about learning how to process emotion. Okay, Steve, and that's what I like to teach my clients to do. Thank you for asking. Sandra from Melbourne, Australia. Hello, Sandra. 20 years with a covert narcissist. Lies, cheating, gambling. Neglected me and his son constantly. Never spent time with us, always working for his addictions. How is it possible that my ex has completely changed who he was and is now living as a different person with no addictions? With a healthy woman and spending time with her and her kids. I'm so hurt that he couldn't do that for me and his son who doesn't see anymore. Was it me? Sandra, anything somebody else does is not you. That may seem easy enough, but doesn't really apply to you, but it does. What some other people do is not you. It's not because of you. It's not your fault, okay, what other people do. So that's him doing his thing. Now, you presented a situation for me that's hard to explain because I don't know him and I don't know your situation. Just this, what you told me, okay? So, you said, the bottom line here, Sandra, is he may have stopped his addictions, okay? But addictions are to help him cope, to cover shame. He feels like crap. If he hurt himself, if you hurt yourself with addictions and hurt your body, you don't like yourself, period. That's fact, right? Don't tell me you like yourself and then drink yourself a fifth a day of liquor every day. Oh, I love myself. I'm killing myself. I love myself. No, you don't. You don't get to say that. You're showing that you don't. So we just say, no, you hate yourself. If he has lots of addictions for his whole life, right, until he's now an older adult, and he just stops the addictions, that's great. But you cured a symptom. Meaning, if I have a cold and I have a runny nose, right, I am now spraying nasal spray in my nose to stop it from running. That's all he did. So we take addictions because he doesn't know how to cope or navigate emotionally in life. Okay? So all he is a dry drunk or a dry drug addict. He's just off the stuff. If he is taking drugs, he's a drug addict, he doesn't know how to meet his needs, his emotional needs. So he doesn't know how to cope with life, meet his emotional needs, or navigate in emotional relationships. He doesn't know. And he just had a huge failed relationship with you. So I would ask myself, how did he, if he has a personality disorder, if he did with you, how did he cure that? It's not by dating the right person. And it's not just by quitting addiction. That's not a cure to a personality disorder. Those are symptoms, okay? So how did he cure his personality disorder? How did he cure his addictions? That's important how he did it. Did he just stop? Or did he go to a treatment center and he's seeing a doctor and a therapist and he's involved in an organization like Alcoholics Anonymous and he's got a big brother and he's doing step work, and those things are important rather than, oh, I just don't do cocaine anymore. I just stopped. I've done cocaine for 25 years and I stopped last Tuesday and now everything's great. Nope. Trust me. I think the failure rate for Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous is literally like 90-something%. So, trust me, it's not just, I just quit. What's important here is what he values, okay? Real important. He still does not value people or relationships. Why? Because he doesn't care about his son, and he never fixed or gave you any closure, right? Did he abuse you and didn't apologize? That's pretty big, because he is either full of guilt and shame or he has no conscience. His relationships can't function and can't work. If he's abused people and haven't come to terms with that, hasn't healed from why he hurts people, he needs to heal his own hurt. Okay? He needs to learn how to meet his emotional needs. He needs to learn how to have a healthy relationship, because he doesn't know how to have a healthy relationship, right? So when you say he's with someone healthy, that doesn't make sense. And if he's with someone healthy, let's say just short term, right? Because they haven't figured out how unhealthy he is. He's doing such a good job convincing this woman he's healthy when he's not, which is rare. And it doesn't last long. So if they haven't dated long and she's already invited him to meet her children in a month or two, something like that, that's not healthy. That's not a good mother. There's a lot going on here, and more than what we see, okay? So what you see online isn't real. What you see on Facebook, I don't care. I don't care what anybody posts on their Facebook. It's all BS. You don't know how people feel. Stop asking and looking at what people are doing, and start asking and seeing how people feel. Okay? I'll repeat that again. He is either guilty and ashamed, or he has no conscience. Either way, his relationship won't work out. Okay? He doesn't care about his child, then he doesn't care about her children. You don't not care about your children, but you care about other people's children. No. No. He's a failed husband, and he's a failed father. And if he can just try to ignore that by dating somebody else now and just move, no, it's not going to work, Sandra. It's not going to work, and we can't judge these things by just looking. Okay? It's real hard to know how people feel by just looking at them. Okay? I bet he's miserable. Totally miserable. I mean, how long was he even single for? Did he go right to somebody else? Then he learned nothing from this failed relationship. Keep asking me questions. Thank you. Mark from the United Kingdom. Hello, Mark. Going through a bad smear campaign. I'm sorry. She is blaming me for everything. I'm suffering bad from this, and her mind games are working. And it's only because you're listening, Mark. It's only because you see it, because you hear it, and people tell you. That's the only way that her mind games are working. You said you've never felt so bad about yourself. Start feeling bad for yourself a little bit in what you're going through. We need something to counter this, guys. Okay? If we already have shame and we feel bad about this relationship, we're abused, and we have low self-worth and low self-esteem, stuff like this, we buy into this stuff. We buy into this stuff. You might be isolated right now. You might not have any people in your life. I'm telling you, Mark, stop looking at it. It's the only way to survive this stuff. You thinking you need to know what they're doing so you can counter it, that's you trying to calm your anxiety. You're making it worse. I tell everybody, document things. File a police report. In the United Kingdom, they really hate this stuff. So I'd report it to your police. There's also different organizations that exist to help these things. You can get a barrister to help you. Okay? You can sue. There's criminal and civil action that you can take. But Mark, you've got to be responsible and stop exposing yourself to this stuff and counter it with people in your life. Find people in your life, call upon them, tell them what you're going through, tell them that you need help with this, and to call upon you and go out with you and talk to you, and then maybe hire a professional to listen to you, to get some of these emotions out, processing them. Don't be by yourself. Don't pay attention and give it attention and look at it and listen to it and let people tell you what's going on. Tell people to stop telling you. Okay, Mark? I'm really sorry, but the less attention they get from this is when they stop, okay? So it really fuels them when you react. If you ignore them, they feel low. Laura from Phoenix. Hello, Laura. How does a narcissist treat a quality supply source in a long-term relationship? Why would he cheat on a quality supply that's younger and prettier? Because young and pretty aren't enough for human beings, anyone. I want to be really clear on that, Laura. No matter how young and pretty you are, that's not a reason for someone to stay in a relationship. Anybody, even a narcissist. It's not emotional. It's not enough. I'm sure you're very young and very pretty, but it's not enough. And even a narcissist could place tons of importance on only that. That could be the only thing a narcissist says that is important to them. I need to have someone younger and prettier. That's all. Doesn't matter. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough. He went to someone else. He dates people usually for physical reasons. His standards are physical, right? So maybe this person has money. Maybe you wouldn't have sex with them and they're having sex with him. Maybe it brings up their status, makes them feel better about themselves, okay? But the reason narcissists do what they're doing is to meet their emotional needs. His needs can't be met in this toxic relationship no matter how bad you try. He doesn't know how to meet his needs. You can't meet his needs for him. His emotional needs are not being met in this relationship with you. So instead of doing anything healthy about it, he does something unhealthy about it. And that's go to somebody else. That's it. That's not the answer. It's not about just somebody else, somebody else, somebody else. He's a narcissist, so everything has to be about him. And once you start having your little problems, and I don't like you doing this, and I don't like you doing that, now it's about you, he's gone. He just goes to somebody else. Easily replaceable, because he doesn't know who you are, he doesn't care who you are. How do I know that? Because he doesn't know who he is. And if people don't know who they are, and they don't care about who they are inside, it's real hard for them to care about who people are on the inside, too. Okay? Young and pretty is not enough. We need more as human beings in relationships. Even narcissists. They don't know that, but they do. Okay? He could be suffering in a relationship even though he's causing the abuse. He's not getting what he needs. He feels ashamed of himself. He hates himself. So he goes to someone else that makes him feel better. That's simple. You bring up bad feelings, negative feelings, so he doesn't go over to you anymore. Even though it's all his fault. Doesn't matter. He's a narcissist. That might be confusing. If it is, I'm sorry, Laura. Please keep asking me questions, okay? Okay? You're pretty inside. Start showing it. Jeff from Indiana. Hello, Jeff. After her mother posted a meme about... So, your ex-mother posted a meme saying, it's better to get your daughter back after a failed marriage than in a box. Your ex immediately posted that you never abused her. So you have an ex, and her mother is saying that it's better, at least I have my daughter back now after this failed relationship, instead of in a coffin where he kills her. So she's making you out to be this horrible, horrible person. And you want to know why your ex is defending you. Posting right afterwards saying, oh, but he never abused me. Why would she defend my character after a vicious discard? So she viciously discarded you and now she's defending your character. And then you wanted me to make sure that I knew that you didn't look. This was your daughter that told you about this. Well, I'm glad you're not looking, Jeff. So I don't know her. I don't know why she's doing it. I'm not going to claim I know why. And I could guess, right? Something I've noticed, Jeff, specifically with borderlines, and I think that's, she might be borderline. And it makes sense after having such a toxic mother. Toxic mothers can create borderlines and daughters with CPTSD. Something I've just seen so much with borderlines. And they do it. We know that. It's a trait, right? They idealize and devalue big time. I mean, they're the worst. This is my favorite restaurant. Oh my God, I love it. And then they have bad service by one waiter. Screw this whole place. I hate it. I love you so much. You're so amazing. I love your hands, your face, your mouth, your voice, and all this. And the very next day, I hate you. You're stupid. You're ugly. You're fat. You're never there for me. I can't count on you. Up and down, up and down, up and down. Black and white. Value, devalue. They're the worst. They're the worst. can't regulate their emotions. You make me feel so amazing, and then you make me feel so bad. My mother abused the shit out of me my whole childhood. I hate my mother. She used to hit me and screw my boyfriends. Very next day, she calls you. And you're like, where are you, honey? Oh, I'm out with my mother having lunch. And I know I've said this so many times, but it is just unbelievable how they are like that. And you're like, honey, you just told me last night that your mom was just the nastiest person in the world. Yeah, but I love her. And she also was a good mom, too. She also gave me everything I needed. I was just mad at her. That's why I said it. Up and down, good and bad. I love you forever. I hate you forever. Come back into my life. Everything's great. Now get the hell out of here. I hate you. It's you and I forever, and then they discard you or abandon you. Up and down, good and bad. The worst ever, right? Absolute victims of trauma. And so that's what I see here, Jeff. I don't think this is necessarily about you. I think this is about her and her mother and her defying her mother. She's probably mad at her mother right there. So she makes her look stupid. He never abused me. And she probably told her mother that you did abuse her. And now it's no, you didn't. Now you're a great guy. And already since she posted this 5 times, you've become good and bad, good and bad, and good and bad, and good and bad to her mom. Make sense? No, it doesn't. Of course not. It's borderline. I know. All right. Nicole from PDX, from P-Town. Hello, Nicole. I missed Nicole's question last week. I'm very sorry, Nicole, and I'm so glad that you told me so that I can answer it. Based on what you know, should I forgive my family? Is it a good idea to ask them to help me to get into my first apartment? They let me be homeless for 8 months. They want me to come to their house for holidays and act like nothing happened after neglect and abuse. So I want to tell you, Nicole, please watch my video that I'm going to make tomorrow. I'm talking about a lot of this stuff. Tomorrow's video is about re-engaging unhealthy family after abuse, after recovery. I can't answer these questions for you, Nicole. I would just keep asking, what do you want? How do you feel? What do you want? How do you feel? That's all I would ask you. I'm not going to tell you, should you forgive your family? You don't have to. If you want a relationship with them, I would suggest doing that or trying. If they don't seem to care and don't want to make you feel better about it, then why would you forgive them? It's tough, isn't it? I know. So I'm going to make a whole other video about it for tomorrow because somebody asked me a question about it and you've asked me this, so I'm just going to answer it in a separate video tomorrow. And here's the other person's question. Lynn from the United States. Lynn's been around quite a while. Helen, when you talk about re-engaging family with new bounded terms, could you share strategies with some examples? I find coming up with the right words is the hard part. Yes, I was going to answer this here, but it worked last week. I picked out a question from somebody and I made a whole separate video about it and it came out Tuesday and it worked out well. I think I might keep doing that. So I'm going to answer these questions in a separate video that will come out tomorrow, Tuesday. And I'll dive more into it and give it more time. So thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Lynn. Stay tuned for tomorrow. Thank you all. That's it. That's the end of the question and answer videos. Like I've asked before, please always push a couple buttons. This isn't just to support me. It's to support what I'm doing. CPTSD, just like PTSD, soldiers that have PTSD are committing suicide every day. Okay, people who are suffering from CPTSD and traumatic abusive relationships are also killing themselves. Okay, and a lot of this is just getting some information. Even if what I'm doing, it won't help someone, it might just give them an answer to point them in the right direction. Hey, you're abused by a narcissist. Hey, you might have CPTSD. Hey, you might want to start, learn about your childhood and heal from this stuff, or all kinds of different little things, okay? So if you could really help me, guys, I do all this work, all the videos and stuff for free. So if you could just push a couple buttons, it might save someone's life. Subscribe to my channel. I notice a lot of people aren't subscribed to my channel. I'd really appreciate it if you could support me that way. If I can't see that you're subscribed to my channel, other people can't see it. It'd be nice. Put my videos in a playlist. Vote on it, up or down, comment, share it to other people, okay? Thank you, all of you. And also, buy the book, Sarah Zolkowski, Narcotic Love, In and Out of the Coma of Narcissistic Abuse. The link is down below in the comment section. Thank you all. Love yourself first. I'll see you next week. Bye.